Okay. Oh, let me get the prayer. My glasses. Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled City Council meeting, September 9th. Will you all please rise for a prayer? Dear God, today as this session opens, we pray that your presence will be before us and everyone who serves in the decision-making process of our city. We pray for direction which will lead our city to be strong and unified. May we continue the legacy of our founders. May we be granted this day the wisdom to make decisions which will be for the good of our city. We also pray for your special blessing on all those who are working to transform our city and make it a better place to live and work. Amen. Will we please all salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Counsel Leahy.
Here.
Counsel Martin. Counsel Mercia.
Here.
Counsel Milanazzo.
Here.
Counsel Rourke.
Here.
Counsel Samaras.
Here.
Counsel Belanger.
Here.
Mayor Elliott.
Here.
Counsel Kennedy.
Here.
8 present.
There was one item that did not make the agenda, and it was my oversight in my office, but I'd like to entertain a motion to suspend the rules to take up citation to be issued to Officer Patrick Casey. Motion by Councilor Kennedy, seconded by Councilor Belanger. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, that motion carries. Officer Casey? And if you want to allow your 2 beautiful babies to steal the limelight, we'd love to have them come up too. And your wife? Right at the podium. Oh, that's perfect. Officer Casey, on behalf of my colleagues in government, we're pleased to have you here this evening, and we're pleased to honor you for your efforts in providing public safety to the residents of the city of Lowell. On behalf of my colleagues, this is a citation to you, officer, and your family. Be hereby known to all that in the city of Lowell and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, we hereby offer our sincere gratitude to Officer Patrick F. Casey for your heroic actions while on duty with the Lowell Police Department. During the morning hours of August 27, 2014, while on routine patrol in the area of Pawtucket Street, your attention was drawn to a vehicle operating at an unreasonable speed without taillights illuminated. You further observed the vehicle to go through a red light in a dangerous intersection. You initiated a traffic stop for the violation and quickly became involved in what can only be described as a life or death confrontation. As the subject in the offending vehicle began acting in a suspicious manner, you became apprehensive for your safety. This individual, soon after the traffic stop, and without warning, exited his vehicle and began firing at you with the handgun, nearly striking you. You immediately reverted to your training and returned fire, striking the assailant. As the assailant fled, still in possession of a weapon, you remained composed and alerted other responding officers to the situation. You were quickly joined by those officers who were able to apprehend the suspect and take him into custody. With less than a year out of your basic recruit academy, you were out on the streets of your city protecting its citizens. While people were asleep in their homes, you were vigilant and you acted upon the observations you made, which led to a potentially lethal encounter. Once engaged in a violent shootout, you remained focused, poised, and in control of your actions. You performed in a textbook fashion, relying on your innate instincts and training not only to survive the encounter, but to prevent the suspect from harming others. We may never know what the intention of the suspect was that early morning when he decided to shoot at a police officer. But what we do know, that he was unable to do any harm because of your heroic actions. Officer Casey, on behalf of the entire city of Lowell, I, Rodney M. Elliott, the mayor of the city, along with all my colleagues on the city council and in city government, hereby offer all the best to you for your heroic tasks you performed every day for the good of the city. Given this 9th day of September 2014 by myself and on behalf of the 106,000 people in the city of Lowell, we thank you for your efforts. Congratulations.
Just like to say thank you to all the members of the City Council, to all the members of the Lowell Police Department, and all the citizens of Lowell, and especially my family. The support throughout everything has been overwhelming. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor Elliott, members of the City Council. I'd like to thank you for commending Officer Casey this evening. Recently, we have certainly seen an increase in some violent shootings in the city of Lowell, and we have asked a lot of our police officers. We've asked them to step up to the plate and increase their enforcement activities, specifically targeting motor vehicle enforcement during those nighttime hours when we know that these violent incidents are occurring. There is no better example of what we've asked our police officers to do than Officer Patrick Casey. He really stepped up to the plate here and was very aggressive in his enforcement activities at a very difficult time in the day and in the evening. Officer Casey has only been graduated from the Lowell Police Academy approximately 10 months ago to this time, and in that short period of time, he has made a significant impact, not only in his patrol activities on the shift, but also in the activities that he's done in protecting the citizens of Lowell. So he is certainly worth a citation here by the City Council, and I am personally grateful for his heroic and activities. I'm very proud of him. It's in the best tradition of the Lowell Police Department, so I'd like to commend him also. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And again, thank you, officer. And we also want to thank his wife for allowing your husband to protect the citizens of the city. We also thank members of the Lowell Police Department that took time out of your schedule to come and to support another member of your police department. So we appreciate it. Council Mercia and Council Rourke, anything to say? Council Rourke, Council Mercia.
Mr. Mayor, as well as I want to alert the City Council as well that I know that they probably don't know this, but I did receive some information that when that horrific blaze took place, Patrick Casey was on duty and caught some people jumping, preventing them from breaking their legs or whatever or getting killed. And this is something you probably don't know. We're here honoring him for another particular heroic deed, but that to me was an unbelievable heroic deed. I know your family is very, very proud, and I did tell the chief of that, and I'm very, very honored that you would be serving the people in the city of Lowell. We're very, very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Chair, I'd like to recognize Council Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And to echo the chief's comments about how every time a Lowell police officer has a shift, They put their life in their hands, especially with today's climate and what does happen. And Officer Casey's actions are indicative of the entire police department. I'm very proud that he's a member of our department, and I'm very happy with the Lowell police officers, how they do their job and how they protect the citizens of Lowell. So thank you very much, officer, and thank you very much to members of the Lowell Police Department. Thank you.
And your babies have been very, very good. Okay, moving on. Thank you again. Moving on to the next item of the agenda. As we have done with so many others and in historical fashion, we like to recognize new businesses in the city, and tonight is no exception. We'd like to recognize a new business, Sathi's Salon, on Westford Street up in Couple Square. And we did have a ribbon cutting, and we'd like to have you come to the podium. This is a lifelong dream of the new owners. So we'd like to welcome you, Sathi, again, Sathi Tatch.
Yes.
To City Hall, and her husband Ken, the city manager, and myself, along with the staff from planning and development and customers and children, participated in a ribbon cutting ceremony last week, and it was wonderful. So we invite you here so you can tell the residents of the city about your business, where it's located, and your services. But beforehand, we'd like to offer you a citation. Be hereby known to all that in the city of Lowell, in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, hereby welcomes Sathi's Salon and its owner, Sathi Tatch, as new business to make its home at 295 Westford Street. The city is honored that after years of working as a licensed cosmetologist in Acton and Tewksbury, your dream has come to life here in the city of Lowell. The entire city of Lowell extends its deepest wishes to Sathi's Salon for success with your new business, as you offer a full range of services for all members of the family. Given on this 9th day of September 2014 by myself, along with all my colleagues in government. Congratulations, welcome to the city, and we look forward to going to your business and getting haircuts and well, the manager's going to go up and get a pedicure and all the other things. So congratulations, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell us a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So I come today. I like to thank you for everyone. And I'm so proud to having my own business, small hair salon in Lowell. So I'm very proud. I so thank you so much, and I hope everyone can come to my salon and support and getting a haircut or any like facial or any pedicure, manicure for that. So we will take care and perfect for that for everyone. Thank you so much for supporting me.
Thank you so much, and we wish you the best of luck. So the next item on our agenda, I wonder if we might be able to just maybe close one of those doors. It is a public meeting. We want to close them both, but just, yeah, that one's fine. So the next item on the agenda is we wanted to take an opportunity to recognize those agencies and the city, and especially the families who were affected by the Branch Street fire. And if we could just take a moment, and we'd like the families to come up, if we could. And I'd like to have CTI say a couple of words, and CMAA say a couple of words after the presentation of the check, along with the city manager. So first of all, welcome to City Hall. And thank you for taking time to come tonight to join us. We wanted to we wanted to have a ceremony. We know that you have received checks, the real checks, from the fund, but we also wanted to show the Lowellians watching tonight the amount raised, and to put faces to those individuals that were affected by this horrific fire. So we thank you for coming tonight. We have Bopal Malone from the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association. We'd like to ask her to say a few words. We also have Karen Frederick from Community Teamwork, who provided an awful lot of assistance over the last 8 to 10 weeks. And of course, the city manager on behalf of the city, who we provided so many services as well. So on behalf of the city, we pledged the morning of the fire to do everything we could possibly do within our means to try to help you create life after that fire, from permits from licenses to birth certificates, to anything on the city side that we could. And I believe we did, and I hope that we succeeded on your behalf. But also, the first thing we did was we set up this fund, knowing that people in this city are so generous. And the first thing the city manager and myself knew was we set up a fund, because the first thing people are going to ask, what can I do to help? Where can I contribute? What do they need? And this city responded like we have done time and time again, to help people that were affected by this fire. It's overwhelming. I'm sure you're overwhelmed. We hope that life is becoming a little bit more normal after this tragedy. And Mr. Manager, if you'd like to say a few words, and then we'd like to present the check. We just think that this was a great way to thank the people at home and to show you how much the city and people in the city are willing to help you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I just want everyone to know that the day of the fire, I was instructed by the mayor and the entire city council to make sure that we give every effort we can to help out the victims of this terrible fire. And there's going to be a nice check of over $260,000 presented, but I also want to point out the incredible in-kind services that the city of Lowell provided to the Branch Street fire victims at the request of the council. Things like police patrols, honor guards to Boston and back throughout the services, burial fees taken care of entirely by the city of Lowell. So above and beyond the $260,000, there's an incredible amount of in-kind services that the city of Lowell provided, and but it well-deserved. And but the city again stepped up to the plate when it was needed the most, and I congratulate the city council for leading that effort. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Another partner in this effort was the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association. Bopal Malone is the president. Could you please kindly come to the podium? And they raised a tremendous amount of money in conjunction with the temple and the Cambodian community. So we thank you for your leadership. We thank you for all of your hard work. We know there are so many volunteers, both with CMAA and within the community, some of which are here today still helping families. So, Ms. Malone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for inviting us here tonight. We know that the past couple of months have been incredibly difficult for a lot of us, but we've accomplished a lot. You know, for what happened to the survivors was really horrible already, and you know, to ensure a smooth transition, basically what the Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association did was we served as a resource and as a coordinating function to help identify and organize all of the services in our community to make sure that we helped these survivors in the most effective manner. Second, we offer translation services from our professional translation team, and out of the total $260,000 we raised, we helped to raise money as well. So like the mayor said, through the vigil, the funeral at the Glory Buddhist Temple, the benefit at UTech, personal collections and GoFundMe account. The CMAA has raised $67,584 to contribute to that Jeanne d'Arc account. So we're really happy to help our community in that way. And we know that the biggest concern for the survivors was housing. And thanks to community teamwork, Lowell Housing Authority, the Coalition for a Better Acre, even Mr. Mayor, you had said in terms of documentations and things like that, the Asian Center really helped out a lot. So everyone pulled in together and helped each other. The Wish Project, I didn't mention, they furnished the housing and everything as well. So on behalf of them, I really like to thank all of you for all of your help. And although a lot of them have been housed already and they're emotionally fine, we know that a couple of them, they still need the help. We've been working hard as a resource for them, and we will continue to work hard in order to provide them the support and the services that they may need. So please reach out to us if you need further assistance. And you know, this disaster has really brought all of us together. We've really enjoyed working with all of the nonprofits. We really enjoyed meeting the survivors. Thank you to you, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership, for your guidance and your support, and thank you to everyone for your kind donation in helping our community. Thank you.
The last organization I would like to have come up and say a few words provided an incredible amount of support. Karen Frederick from the Community Teamwork Incorporated, day in, day out, weekly meetings, 24/7, their staff. I see school committee person Kristen Ross-Sikowicz is here. I can't tell you how many phone calls I'm sure she made working, you know, her caseload with Bopa Poe. It was very impressive, and without CTI, I'm sure we would not have been able to respond and help these families in a very timely manner. So congratulations and thanks on behalf of the city for your efforts in partnering during to help families get back on their feet.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for having us here today. I'd like to thank the city councilors, the city manager, and staff. To me, a true test of a community is what you do when something bad happens. And this community certainly stepped up with your leadership, and we are truly grateful for that. I'd like to thank two of my board members who happen to be here tonight also, City Councilor Mercier and City Councilor Martin, who are on the Community Teamwork Board of Directors. This is the work we do, but seeing everyone come together for this was truly an extraordinary experience to be part of. I think every nonprofit that we talked to jumped in and helped. While it's sometimes messy, it works. And truly people coming together is what made a difference in this case. So from, as Bopa said very eloquently, from the Wish Project to UTech to the Red Cross, everybody pulled together to do what they do best. And I think the work that we did was hard work, and certainly for you folks, very important work. And what I want you to know is community teamwork isn't going anywhere. So all of you who've worked with our staff, please stay with us. There are services we can continue to do, and we will be there to do that. And as you said, the in-kind services just at CMAA and community teamwork was over $40,000 of time and in-kind. And the in-kind that people came to, when the immigration came, they didn't charge. When the registry came, they didn't charge. So just seeing people, the outpouring of people's compassion and empathy and caring was truly remarkable. So thank you for your leadership, and we will continue to work with you, hopefully on not emergencies as well as emergencies, but we're always here to do that. So thank you all very much. And I'd like to thank my staff who are here tonight, Joanne Howell, and Kristen Ross-Sikowicz, and who isn't here tonight but put in countless hours is Bopa Poe. She worked nights, weekends, and I really want to thank her tremendously for that effort. So thank everyone who did this work.
So if we could just have the partners, we just want to take a little photo opportunity. Karen, we can just come up front with Bopa Malone, and we'll we'll give you and the families a check, and we'll put it on Facebook and Twitter and all these. So, we already have the money, but this is the big check. And we want to get everybody's picture in, so come on in.
I thought you were talking about my girth.
Congratulations. Anybody want to say anything? Thank you all for coming here. We'd like to offer someone a chance to say a few words, please.
I cannot say thank you for the mayor band. They give the check to everybody, and just I'm glad because I don't know how to say that. But I happy, you know. I happy because everybody they lost everything. Now the mayor they can give the check to everybody. That's why I'm glad that. I say thank you.
Thank you. All set, Bopar? All set. Yes, one. Can you?
I want thank you everybody help me. You know, I'm happy everybody help me. I don't know how to speak English too much. ខ្ញុំចង់អរគុណគាត់ទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលបានជួយខ្ញុំហើយនឹងកូនខ្ញុំទាំងអស់គ្នាហើយនឹងជួយរកផ្ទះរកអីហ្នឹងណាហើយខ្ញុំអត់សូវចេះនិយាយ
She's just saying she's sorry that she can't speak English, but she really wants to thank everyone for helping her and helping her find housing. It's really important for her, basically, because she has kids. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All set? Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. Moving on to the second item of the agenda, it's the city clerk. We have minutes of the city council meeting of August 26th. I'm sorry? We're on the minutes for acceptance of August 28th. Motion by Council Belanger. August 26th. Motion by Council Belanger, seconded by Council Kennedy. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The minutes are accepted and placed on file. It is after 7 o'clock. We will go into the first public hearing. We have an ordinance to amend the code with respect to Chapter 290, thereof entitled Zoning by Extending Urban Mixed Use Zoning District to include 177 Adams Street. We'll now open up that portion of the hearing. Open up that portion of the hearing for those wishing to speak in favor. Those wishing to speak in favor? In favor, seeing none, that portion of the hearing is closed. Now open up this portion of the public hearing for those wishing to speak in opposition. In opposition. In opposition, seeing no one wanting to speak in opposition, that portion of the hearing is closed as well. There is a recommendation from the planning board. Council Mercia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's what I was going to say. We did receive a communication that we referred this issue to the planning board, and on Tuesday, September 4th, they did vote. They met. They voted unanimously to support the change to the ordinance from a UMF urban multifamily to a UMU urban mixed use. In that respect, I make a motion to accept that ordinance amendment.
Motion to accept the recommendation by Council Mercia, seconded by Council Rourke. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And the opposed, motion carries. The report is accepted and placed on file. What is the wish of the body on the ordinance? Council Kennedy, move approval by Council Kennedy, seconded by Council Martin. Discussion? Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
That's 9 yeas.
9 yeas. That's the only public hearing that we have this evening, so we'll move on to communications from the city manager. We have
Your Honor,
Council Leahy.
I did want to offer a moment of silence. If I could
Oh,
suspend the rules.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Council Leahy, entertain a motion to suspend the rules by Councilor, well, it's just a formality. Let's go to a moment of silence.
I just wanted to offer a moment of silence for Eileen Kennedy Burgermeister, member of a prominent family of Lowell, and also for everyone that passed away since our last meeting.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further requests for a moment of silence in Dr. Chambers? Could we all please rise for a moment of silence, and please darken the chambers. May they rest in peace. Moving on to next section of the agenda is communications from the city manager. We have motion responses. We have items A through F. Entertain a motion to approve by Councilor Samaras, seconded by Councilor Milonazo.
I'd like to speak.
On the motions, Councilor Samaras, then Councilor Milonazo, and then Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through the mayor to the city manager, I want to thank you for the work that your office did along with Diane Trad on Andover Street, all the planning that took place. I know we're talking about a lot of money, but I think some of the ideas that you put out will work very well. I would just like to add, though, some of the constituents are still talking about Andover Street itself. They'd like to see the white lines on the side painted and possibly placement of arrows in the middle yellow lane, because it seems that people still use that middle lane as almost a passing lane. I think if those things were to be taken care of along with your plans, this will lead to a much safer street. So I want to thank you for that effort. Also, could I speak on the other
Anyone else on Andover Street? No? Okay, move on to the next item, Councilor.
Okay. Regarding the bikes and skateboards on the sidewalks, Mr. Manager, do you have any idea? I mean, in talking with the chief, is this doable? And I would advocate that we'd raise the penalty if we can collect it. What's your thoughts on this?
I think that's an excellent, what I was going to suggest to the council is right now, we do have the ordinance that I provided to you, but it really doesn't have a lot of teeth in it. It's really just a written warning. and then only after an arrest would you get a fine. I would make a suggestion, if the city council would be so inclined, that probably at the next meeting to have the city solicitor come in with a proposal to make the penalty a little stiffer. Say, for example, I'd suggest maybe $50 for the first offense, and then $100 for each and every subsequent offense. And we have the ticket books that the police officers have for fireworks and other issues, and we can enforce that through the non-criminal disposition procedure. So I would make a suggestion to ask the city solicitor to come in with that amendment to the ordinance to give it a little more teeth.
Thank you. I'd like to support that in a form of motion to do that.
Motion by Council Samaras, seconded by Council Rourke, that the manager bring in that recommendation.
Thank you.
All those in favor signify by
Mayor.
saying, Councilor Kennedy, I'm sorry.
Through you to the manager. Mr. Manager, could you request that the law department look into whether or not it would be possible to confiscate the skateboard if there was a violation? I mean, what occurs to me is that most of the people that would violate this are going to be kids, and so I don't know that we do that well with the collection of the fines. No matter whether they're $50 or $500, it's still going to be just as hard to collect, it seems to me. And I don't really see that. It seems that it would be very similar to, to the trouble that we have with the curfew ordinance and enforcing that. And so, but maybe if your skateboard was confiscated and then you had to come down a day later to the police department to retrieve it, maybe that would be more of a deterrent than a $100 fine, at least to a 13 or 14-year-old kid.
Mr. Manager?
No, I think that's an excellent idea. We'll look into that. But interestingly enough, if you read the ordinance, it says any person or the parent of a minor. So I think we should be chasing the parents also to collect that money and have a little more control over their cherubs.
Thank you. Further discussion on that? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries. Council Milonazo, then Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item D, Woodbine Avenue, which was the petition of Sandra Beltran to abandon a portion of Woodbine Avenue. We have a report from the Law Department that's actually recommending that we refer this to the Planning Board for follow-up and action, subject to the all rights of the petitioners and the abutting owners, which also includes the nursing home at 557 Varnum Avenue, which I understand was actually sold this past week, I believe September 3rd. So I would move that this report from the Law Department be referred to the Planning Board.
Motion by Council Milonazo, seconded by Council Samaras, that this report be referred to the Law Department.
Planning Board.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. And on that motion, Councilor?
No.
No. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And the opposed? That motion carries. We have
Thank
Council Mercia is next.
Yes.
All set, Council Milonazo? I'm sorry. Yep. Council Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have three brief comments. The first one was about the discussion about the sign "Welcome to Lowell," and we learned that it was on Central Street Island. We learned that it was donated by the Greater Lowell Technical High School, and school representatives informed the manager's office that students are working on the replacement of that sign, and delivery should be by late November. So I'm very, very thrilled to hear that, because it was a beautiful sign and they do great work at the Vogue. Second item is the fact that we did receive not a communication in our packet, but an email that said that effective on Friday, September 5th, all fire department apparatus will be carrying the Narcan and epinephrine pens. So I am very, very pleased about that. This is a great life-saving measure for everyone in the city of Lowell. I'm just so pleased about that. And the third item was my concern about the crosswalk in front of Rogers Hall. And I know how expensive blinking lights could be, this, that, and the other. But if we could have 2 Pentagon retro-reflective warning signs on either side, at least 100 feet before the crosswalk in both directions like they did on Andover Street. That was a great measure, and I'm thrilled that they cut the branches down so we could see it now, but that is beautiful. So I don't know what more we could do but to station a person there 24 hours a day, but I mean, you can see it far away, and that would alert people. So those are my 3 issues. Thank you very much for everybody involved in making this happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council Belanger, then Council Leahy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to comment on Councilor Mercia and I, a joint motion on the Rogers Street crosswalk to add to Councilor Mercia's comments that also a wheelchair ramp is going to be added to. And I know the folks at Rogers Hall will be very pleased to see with these improvements. I think we'll make an improvement so we don't have another disastrous event like we had a few weeks ago when a man was hit by a car. So I think we took some good measures here with the installation of these Pentagon signs. I think we'll be on the right track. So that's great news. And I'd also like to comment on motion response E, financial institution holdings. It was a motion myself and Councilor Rourke made months ago, but this is one that takes time. And it was all worth the wait, I'll tell you that. This is very pleasing to me to see Lowell money back in Lowell banks, once again, where it belongs, quite frankly. These banks, Enterprise, Lowell 5, Jeanne d'Arc, Easton, and I hope I didn't miss any, have been called upon time and time again, whether it's floods, fires, festivals, they're always there. And this is where this money should be. And nonetheless, let's not reflect on the past. It's back where it belongs. It's great to see. Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager, this is all good news, Mr. Manager. We still have a money market account at Century Bank, close to $30 million. So is that going to stay in there for some time, or what's the story with that, may I ask?
Mr. Manager.
Thank you. First of all, this is an excellent job that my CFO accomplished for 2 reasons that I'd like to tell you. First of all, we're getting a higher interest rate in the city of Lowell banks than we are the out-of-city banks that this money was formerly in. So we're getting a better yield. The other advantage to it is that this money being in Lowell banks is going to be available to be loaned to Lowell residents, people who are trying to start a business, buy a new home, or buy another home. That money is going to be available for those Lowell residents rather than out-of-town residents. And as far as your question is, what happened is that some of these accounts went out to bid previously, and there were contracts in existence till like 2015 on one of them, and the end of 2014 on another. So as this money frees up, we'll transfer that money to the City of Lowell banks. What we've done is we've transferred most of the money that is free to do right now, and as that other money becomes free, we'll transfer it to the local banks.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. This is great news. I can't tell you how pleased I am. I want to congratulate you, your administration, and Connor Baldwin on the great job. This is city money, and it belongs in city banks. They deserve it, quite frankly. Thank you very much, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Council Belanger. Council Leahy.
Thank you. I just want to comment on E, where the money is in the banks. I think that was a good move to bring it all back to Lowell also. On F with the welcome sign, it's good news to see that we're going to replace that one. I don't actually remember when that got broken or hit or whatever, but it's good that we're going to replace that. And then I also wanted to thank you about the article in the paper today. I was glad to see that you walked around the city with the department heads and you took a good survey and you went up and down the streets to see, how we can make improvements. So I thought that was very important, and I'm glad to see that you did that, and I just wanted to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Further discussion on council responses to motions? Entertain a motion to accept the reports and place on file by Councilor Kennedy, seconded by Councilor Leahy. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know something isn't on the agenda, but we did attend an event this morning that we said that we could probably talk about very briefly. So I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules so that I could bring this very important comment in.
Motion by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Rourke, to suspend the rules to talk about an event that we attended. It coincides with sort of motions, council motions or responses to motions, and relative to Big Brother, Big Sister, the Renaissance Club.
That's right.
Councilor Mercia?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. This morning, you and I welcomed a new partnership in the city, a merge of support between Walgreens at 1765 Middlesex Street, Big Brother, Big Sister, along with the Renaissance Club on Walker Street. There is a pod, which is like a storage bin at the Walgreens at 1765 Middlesex Street, where people can bring home goods, clothing, furniture, books, dishware, etc. They then hire mentally challenged members of the Renaissance Club to man and sort the items for pickup by Big Brother, Big Sister. Then they sell the items in the thrift store that they have, and the money generated helps to hire workers from the Renaissance Club, who in turn can spend money that they earn at Walgreens. So it's a cycle of life, but as one lady put it this morning, get your bod down to the pod. So that was pretty good. Some of the others called it the Pod Squad. So please support this very good collaboration of good people helping good people, and that was very important to say. That we're very rich in this city, not rich money-wise, but rich in not only ethnic diversity, but we're rich in partnerships where people help people. You just saw this earlier, the people in the city helping the fire victims, and this is another good partnership. So thank you for letting me bring that in. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilor. Appreciate it. It was a nice event. Big Brother, Big Sister, along with Walgreens, allowing them to place a pod to collect donations. And by the way, they collect the donations and they sell them, and then they hire these folks. And it really is really a good thing. 84 jobs, by the way, and this was the first pod in the city of Lowell, so hopefully it's successful. Moving on to the agenda, we did accept the report from the planning board on 4.2, so we'll move to 4.3. We have communications. We have an appointment of Michael J. Paglia to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Move to approve by Councilor Kennedy, seconded by Councilor Belanger. Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
That's 9 yeas.
And yeas, appointment passed. Moving on to 4.4, we have another communication regarding the appointment of Allison Jarvis to the Pollard Memorial Library Board of Trustees. Move to approve by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Samaras. Councilor Milonazo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just under full disclosure, I just want to state publicly that I'm a member of the Pollard Library Foundation Board.
Okay.
But I do believe I can vote on this. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor. For discussion, roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
It's 9 yeas.
Chair, I'd like to recognize the manager. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. As you can see from her resume, Ms. Jarvis is a very talented person. She comes highly recommended. I think she's going to be an incredible asset for the board. And if you could just come up and just introduce yourself to the City Council, Allison.
I'd like to thank you all very much. I'm excited to be appointed onto the board. I think the library is an incredible asset to the city, and I look forward to working with all the other members of the trustees. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, 4.5, is another communication, excuse me, by the city manager. Request approval for out-of-state travel for 4 for the Lowell Police Department and 1 for wastewater. Move to approve by Councilor Rourke, seconded by Councilor Samaras. Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas. Next item is a vote from the city manager. Vote authorize the city manager to apply, accept, and expend funds from Mass Works Infrastructure Program for up to $5 million to build roadways, temporary parking, and associated utilities in the Hamilton Canal District, North Lower Pawtucket Canal. Motion to waive the full reading, second reading by Council Martin, second by Council Milonazo. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, that motion carries. Second reading by title, Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the City of Lowell in City Council is a vote authorizing the city manager on behalf of the City of Lowell, acting through the Department of Planning and Development, to apply for, to accept, and expend funds from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Mass Works Program, Infrastructure Program, through the Executive Office of Housing and Urban Economic Development for up to $5 million to build roadways, temporary parking, and associated utilities in Hamilton Canal District north of the Lower Pawtucket Canal. Mr. Manager.
As I informed the council at the last meeting, is that we're trying to attract and jumpstart the parcel 17 at the Hamilton Canal District. And as part of that, the last meeting you were voted to authorize me to apply for $2 million in a grant to provide this infrastructure. Well, since that time, it's become apparent to us that there's more infrastructure work that needs to be done, and we have the ability to apply for more of a grant. So I'm asking that I be authorized to apply for up to $5 million for the infrastructure improvements at the Hamilton Canal. This will bring access from Dutton Street over to parcel 17 and provide approximately 175 surface parking spots for that parcel. And hopefully we can attract a developer for that parcel with this money.
Thank you. Further questions? Council Milonazo.
Thank you. I just want to commend the administration for bringing this back to the council and recognizing that there is a need and actually applying for up to the $5 million. This Mass Works and Infrastructure Program, as you all know, as we all know, helped greatly out at the River's Edge development out on Gorham Street, where last year we received, through your efforts, Mr. Manager, $1.5 million Mass Works infrastructure grant. So again, this type of money, these programs really do bring about economic development initiatives. So again, I commend the administration for bringing this back to us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. Council Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is great news, Mr. Manager. This is a proactive approach that your administration is taking to get this project back on course. I love what I'm seeing, but is this parcel that to create the parking, is this part of the Trinity Financial? Do they have control of this parcel at this time, or is it something different?
No, we have control of it.
Okay.
So we can provide the parking for this development.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Council Belanger. Further discussion? Roll call.
Need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion by Council Kennedy, seconded by Council Leahy. Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
9 yeas.
Yeas, motion passes. Next item is 5.2, is a vote to authorize the city manager to apply, accept, expend a grant for $165,000 from Mass in Motion Municipal Wellness and Leadership Initiative, an initiative of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. Motion to waive the full reading by Councilor Leahy, second by Councilor Martin. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries. The second reading is by title. Commonwealth of Massachusetts, City of Lowell, and City Council is a vote authorizing the city manager on behalf of the City of Lowell to apply for, accept, and expend a grant from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Office of Health and Human Services, Department of Public Health, in the amount of $45,000 for the remainder of fiscal year 2015, $60,000 for the fiscal year 2016, and $60,000 for fiscal year 2017. Mr. Manager?
This is a grant that we've received from the State Department of Public Health. And basically what we are is we're the fiscal agent, and this money is funneled through us to the Lowell Community Health Center. And then the Lowell Community Health Center has a program relative to healthy lifestyles to promote exercise, healthy eating, something I'll sign up for. And it's a great program, and so the money will be going to the Lowell Community Health Center through us.
Move approval.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Move approval by Councilor Mercia, second by Councilor Rourke. Discussion, roll call.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
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 8 yeas, motion carries. Next item of the evening is 5.3 is a vote authorizing the city manager to execute access agreement. It's not that long. Commonwealth, second reading is Commonwealth of Massachusetts, City of Lowell, and City Council to vote authorizing the city manager to enter into an access agreement relative to a portion of 221.4 Jackson Street, otherwise referred in the City of Lowell form-based code as Parcel 17. Be it hereby voted by the City Council and the City of Lowell as follows. The city manager is hereby authorized to enter into an access agreement with the potential developer for Parcel 17 in order to perform various tasks relating to existing property and soil conditions. And providing access to the site, the city will require indemnification provisions, insurance requirement, and restoration of the site to its original condition. Mr. Manager?
Yes, again, in order to attract a developer to Parcel 17 in the Hamilton Canal District, they need to do studies, geophysical and other studies at the site to make sure that it's amenable for the type of building they wish to construct there. So basically what this is to allow them to have access to that parcel to perform those studies and then to return the parcel to its original condition.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Further discussion? Motion to approve by Council Belanger, seconded by Council Kennedy. Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas, motion passes. Next item, orders from the city manager. We have an order for a 60-day trial at Mammoth Road and Woodward Ave. Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I kind of was responsible for delaying this till we got some information. We did. I agree with it. I support it. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Martin. Discussion? Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
9 yeas.
9 yeas. Item number 7, we have reports, subcommittee. Any subcommittee reports? Seeing no subcommittee reports, we'll move on to petitions. Under item number 8, we have a miscellaneous. Dottie Joyce requests permission to address the City Council regarding bus drop-offs, pickups at Bridge Street and Mass Mills. Ms. Joyce is here.
Yeah, my name is Dorothy Joyce. This has been going on for this should be 4 years. Cars are not stopping for buses in the morning and at night. And we got videos using our cameras, taking pictures of cars when the buses had the flashes on and stop signs out, and cars just ignore it and keep on going. And we had one officer there last Thursday night, and I told him, I said, these 2 cars are gonna move up. Then after a while, those 2 cars did move up while the bus's lights flashing and stop sign out. So he gave 1 car a ticket. Then Friday, there's another officer who was in the morning talking to us parents, and he left before the buses came. So on our cell phone, we've been taking pictures of cars that don't stop for buses. It's going on 4 years. I almost got hit twice so far. And I'm afraid someone's going to get hit or get killed before anybody going to do something. This is going on too long. Enough is enough. What does it take to get a police officer down there? I'm a veteran. I served for 17 years. If I have to, I will volunteer with an orange vest and a stop sign. I will stop the cars. We need somebody, a police officer, somebody down there, because two cars so far just looked at us and think they don't have, honestly, they're looking at us thinking we are crazy. They don't have to stop for a bus. And the bus 27 that my granddaughter gets on, she does everything, and they still go by. And there are about 4 buses that stops at Bridge Street and Massachusetts Mills between 7 in the morning to 8 in the morning, then 2 between 3 o'clock. And we can stay out there and see cars just, and know the bus is signed. And we need something done before someone will get hit or killed, honestly. Because I've been close to getting hit twice with my granddaughter. And these are kids from kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joyce. Mr. Manager, can we?
I'm very concerned because something's going to happen before something's done.
It's a very, very busy place in the morning.
It's very, since the two-way street down Merrimack, it's really backed up on Bridge Street. It's even worse this year than last year.
Right, okay. Mr. Manager, can we have, we'll have the city manager work with the traffic engineer, traffic department, and the police department to...
Do anyone want to see the pictures that my daughter had taken?
Sure.
It's on my...
Oh, it's on your phone. Mr. McGovern, could you... Guess we'll have to just pass your phone, so... Well, perhaps you can email those pictures to the city manager's office, and we can get them out to the members of the city council. Councilor Mercier, while we're looking at...
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dottie did pay me a visit, and she told me the situation, and I asked her to file a petition, which means to speak. Everything I told her to do, she's done. It took courage to get up here, and she did that. I commend Ms. Joyce for doing this. She even has a video of the violations. She's complained for many, many years, and it seems like it's fallen on deaf ears. I asked her to get a petition ready with like a paragraph and get some signatures. She got 13 signatures, and I think it's warranted that something should be done. And in this day and age, I'm not surprised if people are going to shoot other people that they're not even going to stop for a bus stop sign. So I'm not surprised to see that. So if we can get some help from the police department, or I know there's police that go on bike patrol or foot patrol in that particular area, if they could stop by at these particular times to see if they could catch people, perpetrators in the act of doing this, take the number down and do whatever they can possible to create some public safety for the children and the parents in that area. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Motion by Councilor Mercier, seconded by Councilor Rourke, to refer this to the city manager for report and recommendation.
Thank you.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
In the opposed, motion carries. So Ms. Joyce, you can work with Mr. McGovern and in the city manager's office and to resolve this issue.
Okay, thank you, Rita.
Great job.
Thank
and
you.
I'm very concerned about these kids because they're from kindergarten through 6th grade.
Okay.
And we parents and grandparents have to be on the other side before they can get off the bus. Or the bus driver won't let the kids off the bus. Because they take them to the Rogers School, then they call the parents.
Right.
Because the parents not there.
Well, we'll help
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 8.2, we have a miscellaneous petition. Michael Nagel, request City Council abandon Paper Street located between 77 and 93 Glenmere Street.
Thank you very much. So my name is Mike Nagel. I live at 77 Glenmere Street. And apparently we have a paper street that runs between my house and my neighbor's house. It's about 30 feet wide. And it's never been a problem. It goes back to, I think, 55 when the neighborhood was put in. In 2009, I had a driveway installed. We had it permitted. It was approved. I know the pictures, unfortunately, aren't too clear. But the driveway was approved. We had it installed, and then we went for a refinance. And the bank believes, the credit union believes, that maybe a foot of the driveway is actually on that paper street. So I can't get a refinance unless we either have the city abandon the paper street or we chop off that piece of the driveway. Of course, we don't want to chop off the driveway. And we considered maybe trying to purchase the land from the city, but we understand from the engineer's office that the city doesn't actually hold the deed to it. It dates back to the construction, so originally I think that was going to be a pass-through like Brattle down to Kearney, but it never went in. There's a house behind us, so they would never be able to use it. The engineer's office has said that there's nothing in the ground there. They have no use for it. And I guess the process, they recommend, or the city clerk recommended I come here and speak to do a formal petition. And I guess it would then need to circulate through the different departments and then come back to the city council. So I'm not sure if that's correct, but.
That sounds correct. Further discussion on this? Motion to refer to the law department for report and recommendation, and if necessary, draw up the proper vote by Councilor Samaras, seconded by Councilor Leahy. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Nagel.
Okay, thank you. I should also mention that page 7 in there that has the neighborhood plan, I think I highlighted the wrong paper street. So I have a set here. I don't know if I can leave that, or should I just drop it off at the city clerk's? Okay.
I think you could leave it here, and be just as easy.
Okay. That's, there are 15 copies, so that is the correct one.
And,
Councilor Mercia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we could keep this gentleman in tune as to what's going on, we're referring it to the law department. If the law department, whatever they decide to do, can notify Mr. Nagel as to what process is going to happen next so he can be a part of this. I mean, it's one thing for you to be here and have us do something without including you. I think you should be included in that.
I appreciate
so
it. I just can't get that refinance until it's either abandoned or
Yep.
we cut the driveway.
All right, so that'd be what I would suggest. Keep
So
him informed.
this is going to the law department, so there'll be communication between you and the city solicitor.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of the evening is 8.3 with National Grid. There's a request to install an underground electric conduit at the corner of Pawtucket and Broadway Street. Motion to refer this to a public hearing on September 23rd, 2014 by Councilor Mercia, seconded by Councilor Kennedy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And the opposed, motion carries. Moving on to item number, Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if any of my colleagues got it, but we got a claim for property damage in our packet, and I didn't see it on the agenda. And I want to comment on it if everybody knows what we're talking about here.
Everybody get it in their packet?
Property
Motion to
damage of a
motion to
sprinkler head.
Motion to suspend by Councilor Belanger, seconded by Councilor Kennedy. All those in favor signify by saying aye. And the opposed, that motion carries. Councilor Mercer, you want to bring in the
Right.
Notice of a claim?
Thank you. I know that when claims come before us for property damage or whatever, we don't comment one way or another in support or non-support. It always is referred to the law department. But in this particular case, I just have some questions, and through you to the city manager. Mr. Manager, when a company comes and places a bid and wins that bid, and they do work for the city, do they post a bond?
Usually they have an insurance policy, but they also can post a bond also.
Okay, so when a company came and did some hot topping work for the city, did they carry insurance or do a bond?
They should
post a
have,
bond?
yes. Yes, we
They did.
require that. What we can do is we can look into this and find out what happened and why. If she had, it seems to me that she had to replace a sprinkler
Right, a sprinkler head.
And,
It's irrelevant about what's going on here, but the fact is, the claim is against the city.
Right.
And I don't feel, as a taxpayer, that I or anybody else should have to pay for something that a company did. Now, they must carry insurance,
Right.
post a bond.
Right.
Okay, that's
So what we
fine.
would do is we would, what's known as third-party them.
Okay.
Is that we would say, okay, you're suing us, but it's really this person
Right,
that's
there you
responsible
go.
for it.
All right,
and
that's fine.
That's who we
Thank
go
you.
after.
So we'll, motion by Council Mercy, second by Council Milonazo to refer that claim to the Law Department for report and recommendation. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries. Under section number 9, we have 9.1, and the City Council motions. First motion of the evening by Councilor Rourke, request City Manager implement the Shot Spotter Gun Detection Program for the City of Lowell. Second by Councilor Samaras. Councilor Rourke?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is actually a follow-up motion to an original one filed a few months ago. The council had then asked the city administration and Superintendent Taylor to look into the feasibility and the cost of implementing the Shot Spotter program. Superintendent Taylor then reached out to the reps of the company for a detailed proposal for the city. A proposal was then forwarded to the city manager and to the council. That proposal is on our desk this evening. I refer to page 8, which shows a map of the city of Lowell, which the Shot Spotter gun detection program would actually cover. It's for 3 square miles. It's actually 12 actual miles that would cover the city of Lowell. The way the program works, they are able to denote the exact time and location of a gunshot using beacons, satellites, and GPS. The system is exact to a gunshot, with them being able to tell the difference between gunshots and or fireworks. This ability alone, I believe, would be a great benefit to the police department. The Shot Spotter program is used in other cities, such as Boston, Worcester, and Springfield. In Springfield, the police department credits having Shot Spotter for taking multiple guns off the streets and greatly aids the prosecution of gun-related crimes. The Worcester Police Department uses Shot Spotter in conjunction with actual cameras around the city. And certain Worcester Police Department cruises, the officers receive a dot on their computer and a picture on their computer screen to the exact location within 10 feet of the location the gunshot was fired. And in Boston, they have had the program for almost 7 years now. The Boston Police credit Shot Spotter as a valuable tool in the fight against gun violence. The city of Boston reports that within 10 to 15 seconds, a police cruiser can have the exact location of when a gunfire took place. There's a cost to the program, of course. We reached out to the office of Congresswoman Tsongas, and she has pledged her support to funding for some of the program, if not all of it. I've spoken to Superintendent Taylor about this numerous times, who is actually in favor of the program and is also looking into possible grant money for further funding. With the rise of the gunshots in the city, I believe the time is now to implement this program. The bottom line is the Shot Spotter program is a tool the police department can use to assist in curbing gun violence and also the prosecution of gun violent crime. As this motion be adopted, and we move forward with the implementation of this gun detection program. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Rourke. Further discussion on the motion? Councilor Leahy?
Yeah, I think this is a great motion. We've discussed this before. Anything we can do to help the police department, to help make our city better, safer, to curb the violence. So I think, this is the time to look into this. Hopefully we'll get a lot of help with it through a grant or through Congresswoman Tsongas' office. But, now's the time to do this. So thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you, Councilor Leahy. Further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? I'm sorry, Councilor Kennedy?
Yeah, I think, I commend Council Rourke for bringing this forward, but my understanding of the Shot Spotter, and I know that it came up several months ago, was that what it will do is tell you immediately when shots are fired, but unless they're around the corner, I'm not sure. I think that probably by the time the city's able to respond, that that whoever fired the shots would be gone. I think that, you know, what would make this a far more effective tool would be if there were surveillance cameras throughout the city so that you could at least see or have a video of people that were fleeing. And I'm not sure that that's part of it. I do think that, I think this is expensive for what it is, and what we're talking about here is covering just 3 square miles, which is like 25% of the whole city. And there have been incidents, I think, that are outside of this range that we have on page 8 here. Again, you know, I'm as frustrated as everybody else is by the shootings, and I think that we should grab for every tool that we can. But I think that I think that what would be key for me is where is the funding going to come? And if we're able to get funding through the congressional office, or if the police chief is able to identify grant money that's available, then that's fine. But I think that before we spend this kind of money for this kind of coverage, that it would be important for us to look at how effective it's been in other cities. And I know that Council Rourke mentioned Worcester and Boston, but I think that there are other communities as well that have tried this, and some with mixed success. So again, I think that I commend Council Rourke for his efforts. I think that tools like this are good. I just think that maybe this tool by itself, without the surveillance camera, might be more expensive than the expense might outweigh the effectiveness of it. And so I guess my comments would be directed to the city manager. I just think that you should weigh carefully and make every effort to secure other funds other than city funds for the funding of this.
Thank you, Council Kennedy. Council Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a great motion, one that is certainly worth exploring given the climate here in the city in recent months. So, I mean, if it's grant funded, that would be great, quite frankly. I mean, we're looking at for 3 years of give or take $300,000 for a 3-year period. That's considering the level of this problem. I don't think that's a whole lot of money, in my opinion. I think it's certainly worth looking into. I know the chief and our Congresswoman's office will do all they can. Hopefully, it's grant funded. And I think we should go forward with it, quite frankly, okay? Because, I mean, we just gave a citation tonight earlier on to Officer Casey, okay? He came within less than a foot. His wife and children were his wife almost became a widow, okay? Because this guy is a bad shot, quite frankly, okay? It is scary out there, scary, okay? Now, becoming a police officer in the city of Lowell is almost as dangerous as crab fishing in the Bering Sea, quite frankly. It's right up there, and it's out of control. We need every tool at our disposal, and I think this is a good start. I know it's not a cure-all. I understand what Councilor Kennedy is alluding to, but it's a start. I think it's good. I think it can be useful, along with cameras. If we can combine the two, we're in business. But I think this is an important piece of the puzzle, and we should pursue it aggressively to see that it happens and see that it's grant funded, because we deserve it, quite frankly. So I support it, and hopefully it'll be grant funded in the end. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council. Council Martin.
Thank you. If this is grant funded and there's data to back up the effectiveness of this, I think we would all be in support. But you know, this is $400,000 over 3 years, and you know, I don't know if that's would be better spent for officers on the street or for video, as Councilor Kennedy says. I think we are all frustrated and we all want to do something, but I think we want to be smart about what we do. So this vote is to say to go ahead and implement this. I don't know what that means exactly. Does that mean we're going to authorize the funding? Does it mean we're going to get a report back from the police chief? We're going to look at alternatives. So I'm very much in agreement with Councilor Kennedy's comments. I do applaud Councilor Rourke for taking the initiative to investigate this program, but just because some work's gone in and we've taken a look at it doesn't necessarily mean it's the most effective use of our funds for what I think we all agree is a very serious problem. So if this is to move forward to investigate more, get a report and recommendation from the chief and the manager, then I'm certainly in support. But if we're going to vote to authorize this funding tonight, I don't want to, I'm not prepared to do that until we have a little bit more, I guess, analysis of what the alternatives would be for use of this money.
Thank you, Council. Council Samaras?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too support Councilor Rourke's motion, but I think tonight we are planning to meet with the Chief of Police and his command staff. I think all of us are very frustrated because of what's been happening in the city. And I think all of us have been asked by many of our constituents, what are you doing? We know that the police department is working very hard. We know a lot of things have to change. I would ask at this point that we wait till we have this meeting tonight to put this on the table with along with other issues that some of us want to raise tonight, and from that point, take the next step. I think people want some immediate action, but the question is, the $400,000, should we have more police officers? Is there something else that's better? Or is the chief satisfied with this as a good beginning? So I would just advocate that we wait till tonight, and tonight would be, I think it's going to be a good beginning to looking into what we can do and how we can support the police in their job. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Council Mercia, then Councilor Milanazzo, then Councilor Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This motion is yet another attempt, another effort to stop the gun violence that is plaguing our city by a bunch of hoodlums, thugs, whatever you want to call them, and it's creating all kind of motions such as this. So I applaud Councilor Rourke's efforts as well, absolutely. We're trying to come up with an idea or some means to stop it. And I firmly believe that we as a council can sit here every single week and make motions, and we can have the police enforce it. And we could even write letters to judges and say, you know, there's truth in sentencing, please. But we gotta send a message. And I don't think a message is gonna cost anything, a message. And I'm gonna take you back and say it again, that one day I went to Andover, I just put 1 foot into the street and everybody stopped. I looked around to see if there was a celebrity or somebody important, and they stopped. It was me, I was just crossing the street. It was about a message that must have took place, that if you pedestrians have the right of way, if you don't stop, you're gonna get a citation, you're gonna get a fine, we have to send a message that if you carry a gun, even if you don't use it, if we stop you for some infraction and we find you have a gun and you don't have a permit to carry that gun, you're going to jail for a year. It's as simple as that. It's not hard to figure out, but we gotta inform the lawyers in the city, and I'm gonna say it, it's probably, I'm offending them all. I really don't care at this point, because if someone comes to an attorney and says, gee, I got arrested for carrying a gun, the attorney should say, well, I'm sorry, it's a year mandatory sentence, there's nothing I can do, my hands are tied, I can't water it down, because I'm blaming judges, and the judge can only issue what they see in front of them. So if a charge of a gun, carrying a gun without a permit, was watered down, then it's gonna get before the judge as a watered down charge, and he's gonna have to go according to what he sees. I'm telling you right now, we created a rule, people created laws in the State House that said a year mandatory jail sentence, and that's what it should be. And if any attorney hears that their client has carried a gun, they shouldn't be negotiating to I'll get a misdemeanor for you. We'll slap you on the wrist. Go back out in the street and do it again. That's what we're silently saying to them. And enough is enough, and we're sick of it. And we're frightened. And we're creating motions that's going to cost $400,000. We're doing all kind of things. Follow the law and listen to what the law said, so that we send a message to those hoodlum thugs out there. Gee, don't go to Lowell and carry a gun, boy. They're going to be mandatory, go to jail. That's what we have to do. We got to send a message. We're going to arrest you. You're not getting out. This is what you have to do. I'm sorry. This is what we have to do. And we need cooperation together. It can't go to the district attorney's office or assistant district attorney and they water it down. Deanna, you should say what you went through today with one of the people that got it watered down. And it was a very vicious thing that became a misdemeanor. So another hoodlum is out in the street because we slapped their little hand. And I'm tired of it. And people are frightened about it. Instead of getting all this, which is important, we're doing everything we can as a city council except the simple thing at hand, to all work together to send a message. Not in our city. We're not going to take the good people and put them behind their doors while people are confiscating benches from the good people, and all the poor people have to stay in the house while the hoodlums are manning this city. It should not be. We'd have one shooting a year and it would be a major catastrophe. Now it's every week there's 2 and 3. And pretty soon we'll be walking over dead bodies like it's not a big deal. When are we going to do something about this and stop it? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm very frustrated because I don't know where we're going with it, but we need to be on the same page and work together instead of the almighty buck. I'll get you off the hook. Well, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about the safety of the city and the people in this city. And I'm sorry for getting emotional, but I'm very perturbed about it.
No apology necessary, Council. I think we're all on the same page with you. Council Milonazo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are definitely all on the same page, and I want to commend Councilor Rourke for really staying ahead of this as chairman of the Public Safety Subcommittee and bringing this back before us this evening. But as my colleagues indicated, the motion does say to implement. I actually would like to get more information and try to investigate this further. The proposal that we have before us tonight is 7 months old, I believe. The pricing that is quoted on page 9 is good for 90 days, so that's already been really subject to change. I still think it's something, as Councilor Kennedy said, it's something that we should try to put together in a comprehensive approach to deal with this. As Councilor Mercia said, this very serious problem that we really need to show the residents of this city, that working with the police department, that we're going to do something about it. So, again, I'd like more information. I think after tonight's meeting with the chief and his command staff, this will probably be something that we'll want to bring back for further discussion. But as the motion is written this evening to implement, it's something that I think we should consider implementing. And I hope that Councilor Rourke will, based upon what he hears this evening, will bring it in that direction. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Milonazo. Councilor Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Superintendent Taylor is here this evening, and I'd like to have him speak on the subject if possible. Before that happens, I applaud the city manager and administration for over a $4 million savings before the books even closed out. This here costs $135,000 per year for the first 3 years. That includes setup, training of the system, everything from soup to nuts. After that, the cost of the program per year is $45,000. A very small amount of money. And it's not an end-all, be-all, as Councilor Blinn just said, but I think it's a tool that could be used by the police department to greatly assist the city in public safety. If the vote doesn't want to be taken tonight, if you want to put it off, that's fine, but I think all the information is here. I'd like the chief to come up and speak his opinion on it. There wasn't something that was done quickly or frivolously, or something that was thought over. Spoke with the city administration about it, spoke with police administration about it, and like I said, there is a cost to it. Agreed. I appreciate the concern over the cost of it, but I do think that cost is minimal concerning public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. So at the outset of your deliberation, you had indicated that maybe there's federal funding, or is that something you can address, Chief? You get the money for this, Chief?
Yes, thank you very much, Mayor. I have been in contact with Congresswoman Tsongas's office, and they are fairly optimistic that they will be able to find some funding sources available at the federal level. Recently, they had a similar initiative for the city of Methuen, albeit it was internal for their high school, a similar type of system, but for the high school, and they were successful in assisting the City of Methuen with federal funding for that. So I did speak with them. They were optimistic. I do believe this is a tool that would be an advantage for the police department as we try and combat this surge in shootings in the city. So I am certainly supportive of the initiative. It is expensive, and I think any funding sources that we can get, whether it's at the federal level or potentially at the state level, we've also been in contact with Senator Donahue's office to see if there's any funding available through the Executive Office of Public Safety. So we're exploring a multitude of different funding sources that are available, and I think the Congresswoman's office is going to be the most productive. I definitely agree that this should be combined with a video surveillance system. I think that would be the most advantageous use of this. I know that ShotSpotter has some video surveillance incorporated with the technology now, so I think that would be crucial to definitely include that. I'd also like to see this combined with a video surveillance system downtown that would be at eye level, so that we could identify perpetrators that would be involved in some disorder activity down there. So I'd like to take a more comprehensive approach, and I think some federal funding would be very advantageous for the city.
Okay. So there are still some sort of loose ends that you need to try to get
And
to
one thing
more?
I neglected to mention, Mayor, is I've arranged for a demonstration on Thursday, I believe it's October 2nd at 10 a.m. So they are going to come to the city and do a demonstration. We could also address the pricing issue at that time and see if we can incorporate it along with the video surveillance aspect of it.
So, Council, does it make sense? I mean, we have a demonstration coming. You still are trying to identify additional sources of funding to, prior to this vote, Councilor Rourke?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Superintendent went and did this proposal. He's the one that's been in contact with the program, so maybe we can put it off for a couple of meetings, wait till after the demonstration date. He can come back with a reworked proposal, maybe with definite numbers, and a vote can be taken at that time.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Milazzo, second by Councilor Samaras to delay this until, I don't want to say a time uncertain, but we'll say a couple of weeks, or until maybe we can just file it under unanswered motions, or we'll just bring it back in 2 weeks, or until the city.
Perhaps we should wait till after the demonstration, Mayor.
Okay, so sometime after the October demonstration. All those in favor of the motion to delay signify by saying aye, and the opposed, that motion carries. Next motion of the evening is by Councilor Leahy. Thank you, Chief. By request city manager update this council regarding new traffic pattern in downtown Lowell as it relates to UMass Lowell. Second by Councilor Kennedy. Councilor Leahy.
Thank you. What I'm looking for is just, I didn't know with the new traffic pattern if there's going to be a 30-day review, 60-day review. If you could just give us an idea on what's happening with that, who's actually in charge of implementing this and keeping an eye on it. My observations are just that, it's very slow going through downtown. The other day, it took me about 20 minutes to go from Central Street to City Hall at about 2 in the afternoon. Tonight, it took me about almost 8 minutes to go Merrimack Street. So I just want to know, what's happening with this. Is there a bailout plan if this didn't work out? Was there some sort of a plan we were going to look at that, to say, hey, this isn't working the way we thought it was? And as far as it relates to Lowell, I don't know if it's just the beginning of school or what, but I noticed Wilder Street, Pawtucket Boulevard, Fletcher Street, School Street, Salem Street, Merrimack Street, all tied up maybe at the end of the day. You did send out an email talking about traffic delays and bridges, but I don't know if that's all related to the new traffic pattern or combination of both, but last week was tough getting around the city. So just to keep us in the loop, just to let us know what's going on, that'd be great. So that's what I'm looking for in this report.
Those of us that live on the other side of the river sometimes don't look forward to the first week of school. But it's without question the opening of the university. Councilor Rourke and then Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could we also add the Rourke Bridge traffic to that report? Because that's got back to brutal stages now as well.
Mr. Manager, I know that you've gotten concerns from at least my office, so maybe you can update the council.
Yes, next week we're going to have a joint meeting between the City of Lowell administration, UMass Lowell, and the State Department of Transportation to go over all the traffic issues and what's the best way to address those traffic issues. And like I said in the email, in the interim, we'll be doing police work at bridges, trying to keep the traffic moving as quickly as we can. But we're going to have that joint meeting to see if the three entities can work together to alleviate the congestion.
Thank you. Councilor Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I mean, this is a normal thing that we see in September when the schools and the university starts back up. It's been a little worse than usual. I don't deny that. But, you know, we're just converting to two-way traffic. That's part of it. And, Mr. Manager, I've received a few emails about, on the top of Central and Merrimack, about light synchronization. Was that looked at by the engineers and to adjust to the flow of traffic now? And I know that could, or, you know, be part of this issue.
Yeah, everything's on the table. And, you know, Shattuck Street is, we're keeping a watchful eye on Shattuck Street, whether it should continue to be two-way or revert to one-way. But it's a work in progress. We're monitoring it. And like I say, this meeting, I think, will go a long way towards helping to determine how we're going to alleviate the congestion.
Okay, thank you.
For discussion, Councilor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for bringing this motion up because people do notice that there's an ample amount of congestion downtown to the point where a couple was going by in their car and I was ready to leave to go to the first assignment this morning, and they told me how it was just mind-boggling, the congestion and so I'm glad that something's going to be done to see what we can do to alleviate that, because they were very, very frustrated.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye, and the opposed, motion carries. City Council Executive Session, item 10.1, executive session pursuant to exemption 4, relative to the deployment of security personnel and strategies to their deployment as a result of the recent criminal activity and other policy-related matters. That is the reason why we are going into executive session. The body will adjourn from executive session. Discussion? Roll call. Move to approve by Council Mercia, second by Council Milonazo. Roll call.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Martin.
Yes.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Mayor Elliott.
Yes.
Council Kennedy.
Yes.
9.
9 yeas. It passes. We'll just proceed into executive session. Thank you.